How's it going, guys? This is Blaster here, and as you can tell by the style of the video, it's not a Kickstarter overview, nor is it a Blaster Talks. This is a full-on, its own type of video. That's right. I'm talking about a game and controversy, something that I'm pretty sure I've done before, but not really. Either way, either or. Let's get into it. So, on the Half-Life Prospect forums, the creator of the game says he might be switching engines to Half-Life Prospekt and probably putting it in Unreal Engine 4. Now, there are a bunch of people that are like, oh, this isn't good, and there's a bunch of people that's like, oh, it might all be okay, and there's a other group of people that's like, I honestly don't care, mate. I literally couldn't give one. And to be honest, I'm on the side of like, this isn't probably a good idea. Like Half-Life games are supposed to be made in Source because you know they Valve created Source to specifically make well, not specifically make, but like to make like certain games like Half-Life, uh, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. Now, if Valve or anyone that's in the teams in one of those teams says, so we're gonna be porting Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2 and Portal 1 and 2 to Unreal in like 3 hours from now, you're gonna get a lot of people that's like, this isn't. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think like this is gonna be a good step in the right direction. And that's also what I think. This isn't a step in the right direction. Now, what the developer is going through is like the whole flashy look. Like it looks good, so it must be good. It's like seeing a movie that you think, oh, it's a movie that's created by big names, so if it's created by big names, then that must mean it must be good. No, it doesn't mean it. Just because Unreal looks good doesn't mean that there's been shit games because of it. There's been a lot of shit games due to Unreal Engine 4. Ever heard of shareware games where it's basically the exact same game but just changed just a little bit so they can, exclude the copyright and get money and selling it for 99 cents? Yeah. I'm pretty sure some Unreal games are are at the back end and probably helped some of those shareware companies that got like $5. So that's what happened. Um I don't know where else to go with this, but let me see it real quick. Now let's talk about why I thought it was a good reason for me to talk about this game. Besides the good, awesome views and revenue, I gotta start thinking about different jokes. Either way, either or. The reason why I thought I should make a video about this is because not because people are not gonna make videos about like, oh, Half-Life Prospect's gonna be switching to new ports and why you should be nervous, worried, or happy about it. No, not because people are making videos about that, or the fact that people aren't making videos about it. So it's none of the both. It's because Half-Life Prospekt is one of my very first, at least I think, Half-Life games that I ever played, or at least games that took place in the Half-Life universe that I'm pretty sure of. I've seen Freeman's Mine, I've seen a bunch of other Mine series that took place in the Half-Life universe, and technically played the game. The only recollection I have of playing Half-Life is when I went to school, I went on the computers, and after going on the computers, I downloaded games from websites that we weren't supposed to be going on. I downloaded the games, and once I downloaded the games, I tried to play like the story of Half-Life. Always got stuck at the monorail section because the guard wouldn't go to the fucking train, and I got stuck there and had to learn how to use no clip. Either way, either or. That was my first experience with Half-Life, a Half-Life game in general, and it wasn't that bad. It looked good. I thought I would play good. It didn't because I got stuck, and after I no clipped and went to the fucking door to go to the other levels, I also got stuck because I wasn't given the assignment to fucking touch to move the rock and make the residence cascade. So that was my first experience playing it illegally, but still fun, still fucking fun. And Half-Life Prospekt is the first Half-Life game I paid and played fully. Uh, and to be honest, I personally like it. It's one of my favorite Half-Life games that I know and have played next to Blue Shift. But that's just me personally. And seeing that this game's going to be ported to another, game engine that is not, Source is kind of, a little bit upsetting and worrying because like I said before, the developer is going through like a blind lens phase. Sorry about the stuttering. A blind lens phase where it's like it looks good, so it must be good when it isn't. And there's a lot of games that show that just because it looks like it's gonna be because the engine looks good, it's gonna be good. So they use everything. They max out the lens blooming. They max out the textures, and makes my computer like this run to a fucking crawl, and I don't personally like that. And I think a game like Prospect will make people's computers fucking slow down to a crawl because of it. Now, not only that, it's because, well, I hate to repeat myself, it loses the purpose, and the purpose, you don't get like satisfaction from other games engines when you play Half-Life. Yeah, there's some recreations like Crowbar Team. I think that's their name. Crowbar Interactive or Crowbar Team, where they tried remaking Half-Life 1 in a different engine. Then Valve was like, "Hey, stop what you're doing and fucking make." Oh no! I get it. They tried modding Half-Life 2 to be Half-Life 1, and Valve was like, "Fuck that shit. Come work for us." And actually remake Half-Life 1 with with Source and make it look good, and it's not going to be a mod, and you can sell it with us with a royalty, of course. And that's what happened. And this is basically what happened too. This guy basically sent a demo of Half-Life Prospekt to fucking to Valve and was like, "Yo, check out my game. Hire me." And they were like, "No, but here's some money and the tools you can use to make your game good, and we'll also say, yeah, it's somewhat in our universe at the timeline of it." And you know what? I'm glad they did that because I personally enjoy Half-Life Prospect. Some people say, "Oh, it's not like the original Half-Life or anything like Half-Life 2 or 1 or even the original even like fucking I think I keep on forgetting the name. Oh, God, Half-Life Operation. No, Half-Life fucking it's Opposing Force. Yeah, Half-Life Opposing Force. It's not like Half-Life Opposing Force, and I think Half-Life Opposing Force was, although it had like mechanics where it's like puzzle based, I'm pretty sure like it was. I'm pretty sure, not fully sure, it was a little bit more gun based since it was released by Gearbox. Was it? Yeah, it was. It was released by Gearbox, so yeah, I guess I win. Um, So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a little bit more gunplay than it was before. But either way, either or, I personally am not a big fan of like the whole like engine swapping thing. And there are some people which I understand why they would want it to have an engine switching phase where like, oh, I want the game to be in Unreal because this and that, and I understand why. But like, you just don't do that, all right? You just like I keep on repeating and probably won't stop repeating because it's stuck in my head. Like, I'll make sure I say it at least 5 more times. It's all about, you know, the original feel. If you play Half-Life in Unreal or Unity, you're like, I'm playing Half-Life, but it doesn't feel like Half-Life. It feels like an imitation of Half-Life that's on a better engine. That's what some people will say and some people will get at. And there's also going to be people it's like, I'm playing Half-Life, but it kind of sucks because I'm not used to the new physics that's with the Unreal when I play in Half-Life. When I do this certain when I interact with this thing in Source, it does this, but in Unreal or Unity, it does nothing. That's what some people would say, and I'm pretty sure some people would be right. You interact with this when you put this in Source, it does this, but when you do it in Unreal or Unity, it does nothing, and that's what some people are worried about. you know. And there's a lot of other people that's like, taking this from the game developing side, where it's like you're just doing this because you think it'll look good and it'll increase the game sales. And ever since this announcement, which I think I forgot to mention, the game started to get mixed views on both sides. Uh, so it's like from multiple things. Like it originally got like positive, now it's mixed. I'm pretty sure it got like positive because of Hunt Down the Freeman, and it being so bad, people wanted to clean their gaming palette by playing something that wasn't that bad. So they played Prospekt and got introduced with somewhat a better game. And if you look down in some of the descriptions of like the reviews, it's like it's better than Half Life. It's better than Hunt Down the Freeman. And to be honest, I personally enjoy Hunt Down the Freeman, but that's just me. I'm probably gonna get crucified for saying that. Either way, either or. Still, uh, and not only might some people have like problems with engine swapping. There's still a lot of like things that there's still negatives and positives. Like I'm on the negative side where like you shouldn't switch it because Half-Life is Source. You play Half-Life on Source. Half-Life 3 is probably going to be on Source 2. You use Source to create Half-Life games, and that's that. Nothing more, nothing less. That's just how you do it. Nothing else. And that's the truth. That's how you do it. And now I'm stalling and stuttering. God. So I think I'm done here. If you want to read more about this, instead of just looking at a repeating video of me scrolling down of the fucking review, I mean, not the review, the fucking post of Half-Life Prospekt, and I know most of you in the comments are going to be like, it's not Half-Life Prospekt, it's Prospekt. I call it Half-Life Prospekt because I think it deserves to be in the Half-Life canon and universe. So, yeah, have a good day. If the guy that created Half-Life Prospekt is watching this, you're just going through like a somewhat of a game developer phase where you think if we put this in the most well-known engine or something like that, it'll probably look and do better when actually it might not. So your choice. I suggest you listen to me and the fans and probably leave it where it is and try to finish the Black Forest update that I and a bunch of other people have been waiting for. Also, while you're at it, can you also put the wrench? Jesus.